Hey guys, what's going on? This Talk for Us TV. We are live. Right, well, we are actually live tonight for this show of the Red and White show. It's been a bit of a whirlwind on the 24 hours. But to my left, we've got the explosive turning Luke.
Evening.
Evening. And below us too, but not below us, we've got Mr. Redler and Jack.
Good evening, guys.
Right then, guys. Well, what a 24 hours it's been with Forest losing. Obviously, all that with Hughton saying that he's not been sacked and media saying that he has been sacked. Then he has gone this morning. So, what's your thoughts to it?
Shall I go first?
Yeah, go for it. Go on.
Well, I'm just glad the most boring period in the history of me supporting the club has finally ended. I mean, if we get another manager like Chris Hughton, then I think the board just need to really just shake their heads, because they've now got, at least 2 days to make a decision if they're thinking about before Huddersfield. But to be fair, I'd be trying to get them in the next one in before Millwall, which gives you about 7 days. But you're not telling me the board haven't already been contemplating this beforehand. Now, if we just touch on Chris Hughton for a minute or two, again, we did exactly the same as we did for most of the season. I mean, I thought last night was the worst performance of the whole season.
Yep.
Capped off by that horrific goal at the end for their second. I mean, I think that just summed it up completely. Can we just appreciate the song that we sung to the Middlesbrough fans, where we said, "You're nothing special, we lose it every week"? I thought that was comical. And true. And
that's funny.
I just think that any confidence that was there within the squad has just totally gone. Even players like Joe Worrell that started late, I think his confidence is now gone. Players were doing things yesterday that they probably wouldn't normally do. And I think having a new manager and wiping the slate completely clean is what we need.
Yeah. What do you think, Jack?
I think I definitely backing up the point where he said about the looking lack of confidence. It just looked like the players last night were kind of scared to try something that might not come off. There were periods where they were just passing the ball from the goalkeeper to the centre backs, back to the goalkeeper to the centre backs, and it was just, they looked like they didn't want to try something that might go wrong in the hopes that they could get the team moving forward. I don't know. There was only really, for me, I was watching Johnson. He got on the ball. He was storming forward, trying to take on a few players. Other than that, it was just safe football, or they'll play it into an area where they know that the person they're playing it to might not keep hold of it, so it's their fault. The player who received it, not the player who passed it. And it just looked like they were really, I don't know, they just looked terrified really to go forward or anything like that. So, it makes me think sort of what Hughton says to him, like, because obviously you see your manager's meant to big you up and make you think you can beat everyone and you can do anything. And when they're coming out and playing like that, it just looks like there was no one showing them any belief in them and saying that they're able to do anything. They just looked like they didn't want to make that mistake. Maybe it was a toxic atmosphere. Maybe it was Hughton's football. I don't know, but they did look like they were just really trying to be safe last night.
We've got Ryan saying glad the clan's gone and he's nil. Aiden saying new Forest manager true right here. Obviously,
Yeah, why not?
We've got smart Luke. Ryan saying Ryder will be best choice if not bring back Kimberley. I'm going to touch up on that one. We can imagine Luke got a opinion. And Queen saying get ready into the end of the season. So, Kim Billy, obviously by your face reaction, Luke, you wouldn't want him back.
I mean, I've tried it twice. I think that says it all. I mean, I don't feel like I need to go on much more.
Yeah. Who would you been in though? I mean, get your comments coming in, guys. Who do you want to bring in as manager? But who do you guys want?
Right. Well, here's where the fun starts, and I hope everyone follows this. First off, whoever comes in will have 2 keepers, 11 defenders, 11 midfielders, classing with wingers, and 2 strikers to move around with. Now, if anybody says to me that this squad isn't good enough for the championship, then I'd be very, very, very confused. Oh, I've missed one. I've missed Zonde Silva, so that's another. I'm gonna put him as a striker because he technically got 3.
Just
so the squad's getting even bigger.
Evening, Joe.
Evening, Dan.
Right, carry on, Luke.
So I'm just looking at the squad and I'm thinking we've got enough players there to play whatever formation you want to. Because it doesn't matter. You can play around with combinations as much as you like. And all these people going, oh, but Steve Cooper, who seems to be the front runner, plays defensive football. Yeah, but the majority of their midfielders at Swansea were defensive midfielders. You got Ryan Manning, Jay Fulton, Corey Smith, Matt Grimes, George Byers, who was injured for most of it, was also a defensive midfielder. They were heavily reliant on defensive midfielders and also the 7 defenders with a back 3 and wing backs. I think if you stuck Steve Cooper in with the players we've got, I mean, we've got more dynamic players, I think, that we can move around. You could quite easily play a Joe Lolly in the middle if you got him in confidence. Because you've got when he went to play for the under-23s, Andy Reid was a totally different player. Joe Lolly, sorry, was a totally different player. Comes in for the 2 sub appearances, he's back to how he was before. So I definitely think that would be interesting. And if somebody can get Carvalho playing, then I think we'll be in business.
I mean, touching on your point, Ryan commented on it saying Steve Cooper don't want him here for his football shocking. Which,
yeah, but was that because he was playing to what Swansea had available? I mean, you look at it, you got Jamal Lowe, Andre Ayew, Victor Yacarez, and Liam Cullen as your forwards. Mostly physicality up front. You can't change the players you have available in your squad, especially when Swansea were in an absolute chaotic mess that they were. That's why he left. He left because he couldn't get more players in to change the way that they were playing.
Wait,
I look at us.
I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah. We've got Lolly, Zinkernagel, Johnson, Myton. Taylor and Grevin aren't bad strikers. We just haven't played to their strengths. You have to.
Sorry.
You have to look at it with each manager and think, well, what would they do with our squad? And people that go, oh, but the problems with the players that are on the pitch, arguably, yes, arguably, no. Because in a sense, if you as the manager are telling your players to be compact, don't concede, and then if you score, come back, don't concede. And if you concede, don't concede another. That is going to breed negative football. And that's going to put anybody that's first thought as a player is, I want to be going forward. That's then unnatural to them to be sitting back. So they're not going to be the best player that they are going to be able to be. You should play to the strengths of your squad. And I never got the impression that Hughton had got to grips with what he had available to him.
And what do you think, Joe, to it all? I mean, it's been a crazy 24 hours.
What about? What
About
was the question?
Forest losing, then Hughton was apparently sacked, then Hughton coming out sacked, then he was sacked.
Yeah, it was quite strange. I think everyone wasn't shocked over the loss yesterday, but I saw a tweet last night saying Hughton said something like he didn't expect to get sacked or something like that. So I was a bit annoyed about that, and then obviously woke up this morning and seen that Hughton's gone, so I'm quite happy about
that. Do you think last night was the right time to go, Jack, or do you think he should have gone earlier?
I mean, you look at the results, and I can't see why he hasn't gone earlier. The only reason I was thinking is we couldn't afford to pay it off. But if we've sacked him now, then it shows maybe we can. I don't know, but I think he would had to have gone. Probably, I think the Derby game might have given him a little bit extra, but I think he probably should have maybe gone even before that. To be honest with you, it was. I mean, we've gone from a club who sacks a manager at the click of a finger to a club who kept him on and kept him on and kept him on and kept him on, and now, now he's gone. I think he should have gone before for me, but I'm just glad that he's parted company now.
What Santos saying told you in the last season who was a clan, dance or football. Damon saying the thing is we can't keep sacking managers. They won't get us anyway. It makes me mad, but CH deserve to go. I completely agree with that one.
Me too.
Marie saying you can't always blame the manager. It's the players that play. I had to say that this morning. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys heard the interview I did for Radio Nottingham, but I did say that on the flip side that, yeah, fair enough, you can't play the manager with the tactics, but then on another side that you could blame the players because not implementing the tactics. So
yeah, but Dan, if I put this to you, right, if your boss told you to do something a certain way and you knew that it wasn't going to probably work the best way, but you still did it anyway, but you had to keep repeatedly doing it that way even though it wasn't working, would you expect anything different to happen?
I'd probably go up and suggest another way and actually be very approachable about it.
But if Chris Hughton, for example, if you use Chris Hughton, if he turned back to you and said, yeah, but I'm an experienced manager, I want to stick with these tactics, then I don't. There is no leader for a starter. Our leader is Graben, who isn't going to go up to Chris Hughton and go, Chris, I don't think this is going to work. I do get the impression that players, although they are responsible for how they play, if you're being told as a manager to do something, you're going to do it, regardless of how effective it is. You're just going to do it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be out of the team next week.
Would you agree to that, lads?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, sometimes you think to yourself, "Oh, why don't the players make their own decisions? If they're professional footballers, then surely they should be able to see it's not working and try things." But like you say, if with a manager like Hughton, he's an experienced manager, and some of these young players, they might think, well, who am I to tell them? Like, I don't know. I'll leave that sort of stuff to him, and he knows what he's doing. And like you say, if they say something out of turn, they could get dropped. And for a youngster, you're getting as many minutes as you can. So yeah, probably makes sense that.
You see, part of the reason why Harry Arter got shoved to the back burner was because he stood up to Hughton and told him what he thought about his tactics. Next minute, he won't play him. The club don't like anybody that has any opinion that's not the one of either the manager or the board. They don't like it. They try to silence all of that, and it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing, and it needs to stop.
Jordan said we need someone to play more positive and attacking football.
Definitely.
Agreed.
And no, Owen, apologies if I did pronounce that one. Go on, Dan, lad. Go on, lads. I'm jumping at that one. Robertson give young players a chance, grabbing until his rat's ruined. Watson did not admit what Yates. Dom saying, who do you think will come in for his replacement? Obviously, we talked on this earlier.
I think the dynamic question was to me when I said that I think we've got some dynamic midfielders. Now, whether you like Ryan Yates or not, right? He is not a bad midfielder. He is just being expected to do a job that he's not suited to. He's not a progressive going forward type of player. I'm having a mare tonight with my words.
Old age.
But if you had two players in front of Ryan Yates, and Yates' prime job was winning the ball and getting it forwards, I think it'd work. The problem is you're asking Ryan Yates to go forward and try and score goals at the same time as break up play. He can't do both. It's evident he can't do both. So you've made a decision to not play him, or you play him and just accept the fact that Ryan Yates is not going to be an N'Golo Kante.
Yeah. Ryan saying if any of you rate Yates, then wow, you need to look at yourself. And we get Cooper and we play the same hash we do. Saying should have kept Sabri in. Ryan wants Lampard. Damien said we want our Forest back at the weekend. Nathan saying we're cursed. What should you say? We're cursed.
I just think that we make the wrong decisions. I will let somebody else answer a question in a minute, but I just think we make the wrong decisions. People are going on about, oh, we shouldn't sack Hughton because we've sacked X amount of managers before it. Well, that's not a reason for not sacking the next guy. The problem is they don't do their research before they hire a manager. Whether it was earlier on from 2000 onwards through to 2012 when Fawaz took over, or when Fawaz was there, his period, the research wasn't done on who to appoint. Because if you'd have researched at the end of Sabri Chris Hughton's style of play, then you wouldn't have hired Chris Hughton. The reason we hired Chris Hughton because he had promotions on his record and top half finishes in the championship. But they didn't have a look to see how he actually got them there. I mean, I only alluded to something about 2 or 3 days ago. Newcastle, Hughton had Andy Carroll. Brighton, Hughton had Joa and Murray.
Yeah,
They're massive. They kick it up
rubbish.
they kick it up to him who can chest it down.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I agree, and we've got Graben.
Ben Bellyfield saying if the way falls to Murphy, surely Steve Cooper is a no-brainer. Matt, no point worrying about dual football if we are winning games. Whilst what fans has been seeing Sabri name versus Blackburn.
True.
Can I come in on this one? Sabri's name being sung versus Blackburn was nothing to do with wanting Sabri back. It was purely to take the mick out of Chris Hughton, basically saying we would rather have Sabri than have you.
Mm.
It was a take the mick chant. It wasn't that we actually want him back. This is where people are getting lost. Everything we have sung since Blackburn that wasn't positive was basically to try and get Hughton out. We were taking the mick, we were amusing ourselves because we were bored.
Ryan saying hopefully Bond will be gone next. Where's Patrick when you need him?
Bong was told he could go in the summer by Hughton. The problem was the club then sold 3 left backs, one after the other, and didn't get anybody in to replace him until the end of the window. So we had to play him there, especially when Stay Tutu got injured.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Just leave left back open? Oh wait, we were doing that anyway. But you have to name 11 players on the team sheet. So Bong was the recognised left back.
Joe put a message on saying Forrest going up down the left back. Yes, you know, lad, you know.
Class, you would.
Oh no.
Better than Max Lowe.
Yeah. Who would be your replacement then, Joe?
I mean, I can't see it happening, but I would like Wilder. I mean, Steve Cooper, I'm not too sure, and I heard he plays negative football, which is, I really want an attacking manager, but for example, Sabri's football wasn't the best, but we got results, and if you're getting results and we play crap football, I don't really care. We just need to start winning.
What do you think, Jack?
I think touching on the fact, they're saying, oh, is football, Cooper's football is the same as Hughton's. I don't know if it's all about the way they play. It's about how they get the players to play that way, how they motivate them. Like you saw last night, Warnock went absolutely ballistic because a throw-in went against his team. He was throwing his arms around, going absolutely nuts. And then Hughton, when someone went against Forest, just sort of put his hands in his pocket, didn't really seem like he was bothered. And I don't know, I look at that and I just think in the dressing room, does he motivate the players? Does he get animated? Does he try and get them on his side? I don't know. I think if, obviously we don't want to see negative football because we've seen that a few managers in a row now and it's not seemed to work other than Sabri right until start pretty much the COVID hit. I think, it's about, I think, a little bit about the tactics, but a bit about how you motivate your players to play that way. And you look at the way that Swansea were with Cooper, getting them to the playoffs and I think it was the playoffs back to back. Yeah, it was back to back playoffs, and they got to the final as well. I was a bit unsure about him, but thinking about it now, we've got young players, and Murphy, you've seen at his other clubs, Barnsley, that he likes younger players. He likes to get players in who are younger, who can come through, who can burst on the scene, they can progress, they can build them up. And if we're going to go that way, then Cooper kind of makes sense, given his background with the England youth teams.
Yeah.
Can I just chuck a few other names in the mix here, Dan?
Do whatever you want. Warnock last night, it's like Luke when prior to Hughton going. Like,
yeah. I just wanted to chuck in Ben Olsen.
I did hear that one today.
Who?
Now, I'll tell you, Joe. Ben Olsen was a manager for DC United when Dane Murphy was also at DC United.
Is he good?
He also used to play for Forest, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And the only reason I could come out with this comment of Ben Olsen is because Dane Murphy tends to hire people from either South America or Austria, Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, that sort of it kind of region.
Mm-hmm.
You see, this is what kind of worries me. Who's going to make the decision on who the manager is? Is it Murphy, or is it actually that other board?
Apparently Murphy went to apparently Murphy gone back to America, didn't he? Over the weekend I heard. Apparently,
Yeah, because he's getting married.
yeah. So it makes you think, was it Murphy's choice to actually get rid of him, or was it like was Murphy on the sacking him?
Can I just also point out something to these people that have also asked the same question as you now, Dan? Dane Murphy will possess a mobile phone. He will also probably possess things like Zoom. He'll also have planned this wedding way in advance of becoming CEO of Nottingham Forest. So he's not conveniently just decided to get married just as Forest need to change their manager. It's not like he suddenly thought, hold on a second, it's a really crucial time at Forest, I'll go and get married. They'd have to literally pre-plan it, and it'll take forever to plan it, and that's the date they set way in advance. But he can still do his job while over in America, because he was over in America 2 or 3 weeks before he was actually appointed CEO, and was probably still doing work then. People seem to think that if you don't have an announcement, you don't have anything to do with the club. Now, I want to put this to you. What if Steve Cooper is actually the new manager? It's been done for a week or two, or even before the international break, they were talking to him, and they'd got everything in place ready, and it was just decided that at last night that was the point that they were actually going to change it. I mean, they say opening talks on, I think it was John Percy or Danny Taylor's feed, but I think they've been talking to Steve Cooper since Blackburn.
Interesting. But finish as well makes you think as well, because there's been a lot of like speculation about the board as well going in. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that video of them two fans telling the board to get gone. So but it was shocking.
I just seen something saying Forest ownership has come under recent scrutiny, yet it is understood Murphy is now calling the shots and in daily contact with Greek owner Marinakis. I don't know who. Someone sent me that, but I don't know where it's from. So I hope it's reliable.
Breaking news. We have got breaking news from Desan J. Exclusive.
Can we just be careful what we wish for?
Yeah. Limits when the Murphy sacked.
This ownership is bankrolling the club. We don't want them to suddenly just decide to pull out and leave us in absolute mess street. I mean, we can all go glorifying of how much of a mess it is, but we're still paying all of our bills, as far as I'm aware. We're all right. We may not be the richest club around, and we're scrambling around to get players in, and it may not be your ideal cup of tea for how it's being run. But at the end of the day, they own the football club. And they are putting their money in. And to an extent, we are not Olympiacos B. As much as you may think we are. Yeah, they send us a player every window. But, I mean, everybody goes on to me about Jabor, Abdoun, Kasami, all these ones that were there kind of a long, long time ago. But, you know, the recent players that have come in, have they really been that bad? Like, seriously?
well, I'm doing that to quality, but not the attitude. DJ Ball was just DJ Ball. Yeah.
No, but I'm talking about Ansarafard, Bouchalakis, Cafu, Guerrero. Were they actually that bad?
I just don't think they really got given much of a chance. Maybe if they'd
Exactly.
been in the team a bit more, they could have done, but they just they came and they were never really used.
Yeah, exactly. So we moan about how much we're Olympiacos reserves, but we're not. That's not how football works, lad. What exactly are you talking about? That's not how football works.
Right. I don't know if you watch that from Sharif. Joe Sanson, Kim Billy back in business. Another Kim Billy one. Door on tour saying Dan not on tour. If any of you guys do watch Door on tour, on Sunday there's lad I know and young De Niro, and he did the vlog. And obviously it was TFT3 takeover, David, because I just jumped on it and I was recording the chat conversations after that.
Door. Technically, Dan is on tour because usually he does it inside his house, and now he's in his garden.
We've got Mr. Michael Stones is in the building.
Good evening, Dan. How are you?
All right, you. Go on,
Yeah,
Mike. Tell us what you think.
Oh, look, yeah, I'm pleased that they made a decision. They pulled the pin. I know you guys probably covered this, but here's my view. Pleased that they pulled the pin. Let's get somebody in who plays football, the style of play that we're used to seeing down the City ground. Getting the ball down, going forwards, and yeah, that's the main thing for me. I want to see that style of play and entertaining football. None of this part of the bus and hold the ball and play defensively. Let's get it down. You've got to score goals to win. Simple as it sounds, if you don't score any goals, you're not going to win games. So let's get it down and play. Let's play football.
Definitely. Who would you bring in as manager?
Yeah, look, there's a number of names that have been mentioned, including yourself.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, you're probably an outside bet at the moment, Dan. But I've heard Chris Wilder's name mentioned. Look, I liked what he did at Sheffield United. I know a lot of people have said that he's too similar to Hughton. Yeah, I like what he did at Sheffield United, and I think he's probably the number one candidate at the moment.
Joe, do you agree to that one from what Michael's saying?
Yeah, definitely. Just want a manager that doesn't do part of the bus every game.
Definitely. Well, I've got another person join actually. Well, I've got Joseph. Good evening.
Who was that?
Class. I don't know. Just some guy. I think he just wanted some fame. But obviously, it's one of them ones. I do think it actually. Well, do you think it will change the atmosphere at the ground? I mean, it's been quite toxic this season, and do you feel like the sacking off Hughton will help the atmosphere?
I think the fans have wanted him to go so much that now he's gone, there'll just be that sort of, I don't know, they won't have to have such a negative, toxic atmosphere the whole time, driving the club to get him out. Now he's gone, they can sort of, it can be a bit more, it's like a release. He's gone now. We don't have to keep driving to get him gone. So hopefully it can bring a bit more of a positive attitude. But I think, it depends on the appointment. Like, obviously, if it's someone that the fans think, oh, here we go again, more of the same, I don't know if the atmosphere will be great. But if it's someone that's exciting, then I think you'll hear the fans really sort of giving him a big welcome.
Do you think that there have been quite a lot of talk as well about, especially with the board and owners? I mean, I'm not trying to steer them off, but there have been quite a lot of talk that, especially with Have the Bin, that they're just trying to smooth the cracks over what's happening. So, how do you feel about that? That this question is an open question.
Say again, Dan.
Just saying, especially with the amount of pressure on the board and all that, do you feel like that the sacking of Hughton might cover the cracks?
Yeah, look, that was one thing that did come to me. There's clearly something that's wrong at the club. Hughton, he's been successful in a lot of the clubs that he's gone to. There's clearly something under the surface that is fundamentally wrong at the club. There's players that he's brought in. I wasn't there last night and I was working late, so I didn't have a chance to watch it. But I heard that Garner had an absolute shocker of a game. It's a great player, and when you can't get good performances out of good players, there's something fundamentally wrong with the culture of the team. Maybe the players knew that after last night's game, they probably already knew that if things didn't go the right way, that Hughton was going to go. Maybe he was going to go irrespective of what happened last night. But the thing that strikes me is we've got some good players in that side, and we're not. He doesn't seem to be able to get something. Managers don't seem to be able to get things out of those players, which tells me there's something wrong. I don't know if it's in the water in the changing rooms, or if it's something wrong in the food or what. But there's something that we can't get decent performances out of the decent players.
About Garner, one thing I noticed is Grabban played very deep and Garner was really high. I don't know if that was just me or they looked like that from what I seen.
Yeah, actually, I didn't notice that to be fair last night, thinking about it.
Yeah, Grabban dropped off loads.
Oh, okay. What do you reckon that with Grabban dropping off, Garner's best suited when there's someone on the last man making runs in behind, so that Garner's got a bit of space to play into, or what are you thinking?
I haven't got a clue to be honest. It must be something like that, but who knows what Hughton was thinking.
Yeah.
Let's face it, Grabban's never been renowned for playing where he should do. Even when he's up front, he drifts out wide.
Yeah. Oh, completely. But it does feel like that. There's a lot of funny, and do you feel like, especially with Grabban, he is suited for that more deep role, or do you feel like that maybe just because of Hughton?
I think you've got to really look at the goal against Cardiff. He was in the box and he was waiting for the ball. He didn't have to drop deep and make the ball, try and get the ball himself and hold it up and then get someone to play it in and this and that. He was there. He was ready on the spot. And I think that's where he needs to be. He knows where to be in the box, and we need to be in a position for him to be there, get the balls into the box. Not long ball. I mean, like, if you get the ball, like they pulled it back into his feet. He was there. He took a touch, bang. You don't want to see him having to try and drop deep or hold it up or try and get the ball from being pumped up long. You want it into his feet, like we saw against the goal against Cardiff.
Yeah, completely agree with that, actually. But yeah, it does feel like, especially with everything what's gone off, it just with the dust going down there, there's a lot of still a lot of Andrew Forest fans out there, but I think the dust coming down now and it just feels like that. It probably was the right decision.
I don't think Forest fans have calmed down since Aitor Karanka left. I think they've literally snowballed from one thing to another. We jumped on Sabri Lamucci's bandwagon for a bit, but I just think some people just haven't really chilled out since Karanka left.
Do, 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 do.
Good turn up, isn't it?
Talk Forest TV, take Forest up for me.
Do, 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 do.
Sorry, Luke. Sorry.
Sorry,
It's fine.
was it? You can tell Luke's grinding his teeth trying not to bite. It's like he wanted that explosive turn to come out like.
Dan, I'm surprised it's not gone dark in Nottingham yet. It's dark over here.
It's not as bad in Clifton actually at the minute.
You've
It's
got
not,
floodlights into your back garden or something.
yeah,
Dan lives in the city ground, don't you, Dan?
I live in back door.
Yeah, Dan just nicked him. Dan just nicked him last night. He took the floodlights.
Don't blame
I
him.
got one down there. Any last thoughts on Hughton?
On Hughton? No. Adios. Goodbye.
I'm going to jump on, talk a little bit about Saturday's game. We've got a game coming up against Huddersfield. It seems that Stephen Reid will be in charge for it.
Is it at home, Dan, or away?
No, Huddersfield.
I've heard of it.
How do you feel about going into it on Saturday?
Absolutely no idea. I mean, it's a bit like kind of throw everything up in the air and catch it. It's like, I mean, it's like Simon Island taking that Reading game. It's going to be similar to Hughton, I think. And it'll just be the last kind of ending period. I think we're one step closer to progress, but we're not quite there yet.
Do you agree with that, lads?
What, we're one step closer to progress because we got rid of Hughton?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it depends who comes in, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, touching on Saturday with Reid as well, how do you feel about it?
I don't really know what to make of it, if I'm honest. Like, I mean, I've got no idea what Stephen Reid's like as a manager, if he's ever managed before. So I don't know. I don't really have much to go off, if I'm honest. But I think
wasn't Stephen Reid the one who came in after when Karanka got sacked and came in for like that Reading 2-0 loss away?
No, that's Ireland. That is.
Oh, Ireland.
Was that when he got like 2 red cards or something? Was it 2 or
Yeah,
3?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't really know.
What about all the red cards in the Barnsley game, Luke? There's a big punch up at the end of the game.
Luke, what's your thoughts to that?
Rory Delap smacked somebody, didn't he?
I don't know what's happened with Luke. I think that face takes it all.
He's frozen.
I think we started talking about Barnsley and Luke's.
Luke's on his way, so well.
His internet has a filter. It kicks him out if it says Barnsley.
Oh, class. But yeah, any thoughts?
I just hope the next appointment is the right one, and we're not sat here in 6 months' time being like, oh, you know, we're going to get next, or what happened with this geezer, you know.
Like a revolving door, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like I saw this tweet by Paddy Power, and it was like it said something like Steve Cooper and John Terry are the front runners to be sacked by Nottingham Forest in 6 months' time.
Oh, really?
And it's like, you know, hopefully we're not sat here end of the season being like, oh, you know, we just managed to get up, but he's gone again, or this, that, and the other. You know, yeah, we need someone to bring a bit of positivity and hopefully have a bit of a decent run at the club.
It was that. Let's not talk about Barnsley.
Cheers for that, Dan.
That's right. Yeah. Seem to be getting a load of people.
That's one of my friends called Jake, I think.
Chat. This chat bot device not connected. If you want, come on, Jack. You need to get the device connected. I think we've got another dude. Talk fast 4 p.m.
I agree. I think that's my mate called Jake.
Yeah. Jack Smith. He's gone. But yeah. Anything for it? Right then, lads. It's been a quite interesting show as usual. We've actually gone longer than we
Usual.
normally do.
Just a quick question: is anyone going Saturday?
I'm not, unfortunately.
I'm busy. Apparently, there's like 700 tickets or something still going because.
Actually,
Yeah, that's what my uncle was saying last night. But yeah,
blow me now. Well,
yeah,
I'm going with my mates, so if there's that many seats open, I'm sitting next to their fans.
Yeah. So that's it. Thank you to the lads for coming on.
Thanks for having
thank
us.
you. Cheers, mate.
Me.
And Luke, final question. Did you see the bus stop at Barnsley last night?
What?
Did you see the bus stop at Barnsley?
I did, yes, Dan.
How do you feel?
Of course he did.
No, I have no feelings on it whatsoever, Dan. Come on, stop it now.
It's a Barnsley fan in disguise. Joking, Luke. Right then, lads. Been a pleasure as normal. And thank you for watching, guys. And goodbye.